So that game was a fucking disappointment, right? I took a bunch of notes. But I don't want to make this a long video because I don't know. I don't know how long I want to talk about this game. But a lot of it was like I said in the video, the last video I made, right? What was I concerned about? I was concerned about the Chargers defensive line, right? Mack and Bosa, right? I said they could disrupt the game, and they definitely disrupted the game. But I don't think that's the reason why the Jets really caved in this game. It's part of the reason. Those guys, Bosa really had a fucking strong game, and Mack was impactful as well. We'll get to that because, like I said, I did take some notes. But just going to cover a few things with the game, a few thoughts on, a few different aspects with the game. And what can you say about that fucking game? And look, there's no Jet video. I mean, there's no Jet jersey on. So, that says it all, right? It was just a bad game, a bad loss. But you know what? Before I get to the notes, let me just say one thing here. This team has a serious fucking offensive problem. They have an offense problem, I should say. So, like I said, we're going to dive into a few things here, but holy shit. Like, listen, it's not a mystery that the line has been a problem now for a while. And Zach is, I'm wondering, is Zach, is he really the problem here? Or is it the offensive line? It could be a combination of both. I don't know. We'll get into that also. Like I said, I have a bunch of notes. If you see me looking over a lot, it's because I just keep glancing at the notes. So let's get into it. Let me start with a positive note. All right. I didn't realize this. I didn't mention it in my last video. I found out about it after I made the last video. But Quincy Williams was named AFC Defensive Player of the Month. So listen, he's having a Pro Bowl year. I expect him to get into the Pro Bowl this year, even though the Pro Bowl is a complete fucking joke. It is a nice honor to to get nominated to the Pro Bowl, and I think this is his year for that. He is definitely having a solid season, man. Like I said, he is a gem that this team found. What else? That's the only bright spot of the notes, basically. What else? Speaking of honors, Revis was honored at the game last night as well. It's pretty cool, right? Even though he fucking jumped ship and went to the Patriots and won a fucking bowl with them. That is what it is. Revis was great. But it feels like I don't know. Feels like we should have gotten more out of him, or maybe it feels like his career was kind of short to me, maybe. I don't know. But he was great. He is a fucking Hall of Famer. And interestingly, last night, when I was watching the game, I was watching it with my father last night, actually, and we were talking about Gardner. Gardner had a really good game last night, but we were talking about Gardner and Revis, because Revis was getting honored last night, and my father asked me, he said, who do you think? Do you think Gardner will be as good as Revis? And I said, you know what? I think Gardner can be better than Revis if he stays on course. I think Gardner has the potential to be better than Revis. I really do. Gardner is really good. So and he had like I said, he had a good game. That's in my notes. I might as well cover it now. He had a good game, a really good game, I thought, where he broke up some nice plays, and he was just, that I think it was one of the first plays in the beginning of the game where he was just like stuck to that guy like glue, man, and just swatted the ball away. Like it almost looked effortless when he did it. It's just a matter of time, I think, before you see him get a couple of interceptions. Even he admitted it himself. He should have had that interception in the Dallas game, and he should have. But that's good. That keeps his fire burning. But, again, ultimately, I think that Gardner, I think he has the potential and the ability to be better than Revis. And that says a ton, because Revis was one of the best cornerbacks to ever play the game, really. I mean, Revis was really good. Anyway, I'm fucking wasting time with that bullshit. Let's get to the notes. We covered Quincy, AFC Defensive Player of the Month, which is great. Now, going into the game last night, okay? And I thought about putting a video out for this earlier in the day, but I didn't. And probably one of the reasons why is because I think we're still only at 4 subscribers right now. But I was going to put out a video yesterday because on Sunday, right, the whole fucking division lost. The Bills lost, the Dolphins lost, and the Patriots lost. So last night was a great opportunity for the Jets, man, in the division. It really was. If they would have won last night, they would have only been one game out of first place behind the Dolphins. So, listen, what else is new with this fucking team, man? The door opens and then they shut it on themselves. So, an opportunity was lost last night. Let's just put it that way. So, let's move on. All right, I have this like broken down into categories, so I'm gonna try to like move through it pretty quick. Special teams, right? Let's start with that because that started the game off on the wrong foot, right? We let up the return, but I'm not too mad about it because the special teams has been playing good. All right, so what are you gonna do? They gave up a return. Never ideal. You never want to do that. It's basically we spotted the Chargers 7 points right off the bat. But like I said, special teams has been playing pretty good. So I'm not going to be pissed at that too much. All right. What I am really pissed about, okay, is this. This fucking offense, man. Holy shit. What the fuck is wrong with this offense? All right? This fucking offense, I'm pissed off about this now for a few reasons, okay? Number one, this team has a championship defense, okay? And the offense is just like fucking making it go to waste, all right? This team cannot fucking score. Like, that is a problem to me, all right? This defense is a championship caliber defense, and it keeps them in these games, man. Like, all you got to do is just score a little bit, and you could be winning these games because the defense is that good. And this offense is wasting this fucking defense, okay? That's the first problem, all right? The second problem with the offense that I have right now is this. Now, whether or not this is the offense, the line, Zach Wilson, I don't know. But along the lines of what I just talked about with the defense getting wasted, all right? Garrett Wilson is being wasted on this team at this point, all right? And you could say Breece Hall is too, for that matter, all right? But Garrett Wilson more than anything, because I'm telling you, if this dude had a better quarterback and a better line, I think this guy would be ripping the league up, all right? This guy, it's almost like this guy, I don't know, man. It's, like, it's like everything is like a major effort to get this guy the ball, to, like, make this guy make plays. Like, he is just being missed out on because of Zach Wilson's inability to just get him the fucking ball more. And not only that, what was the play? I think it was after the Chargers went up with that field goal and they had 20 points at that point, right? Or I guess the game was like 20-6. It was like right after that, okay? Where Garrett Wilson was like in stride, and all you have to do is fucking throw that ball accurately. That dude catches the ball in stride, he's gone. That's a fucking touchdown, all right? That makes the game right there 20-13 or 20-14, all right? So that's Wilson. That's Zach Wilson's, that's his fault. You got to hit Garrett Wilson in stride on that play. So, again, it's bothering me now because Garrett Wilson's talent is just going to waste. He is a phenomenal receiver with some serious potential, and bad quarterback play, bad offense. And here's another thing. Is it the play calling as well? I mean, we can go on and on here, man, with this offense. So, I don't know if it's the play calling. The offensive line is a major problem. How much Zach Wilson is a problem here? It's kind of hard to tell because Zach Wilson, not for nothing, but is he playing better than he did last year? I think he is, okay? But at the same time, it's tough to tell because this line is in shambles, man. He was sacked 8 fucking times last night, all right? So that's, you can say, yeah, well, some of it he's holding on to the ball a little long. Listen, some of those sacks, he was sacked like 2 fucking seconds after the snap. So, you can't disguise the fact that this line is fucking a serious problem. And they got that dude, I don't know if he was a dude they just signed. He played right tackle last night. I think his name was Billy Turner. Was that guy getting beat all fucking night? I think he was. Like, at some point, man, and that falls on coaching too, right? Like, at some point, switch it up. Pull that fucking guy. Put somebody else on the end, that right tackle. Like, do something. Because Mac and Bosa were just having their way with that line last night. And I fucking said it. I said it in the last video. That was my major concern, and that is what took place, basically. All right, so let's just back it up a little bit. And I'm just gonna go off my notes a little bit because it's true. I literally wrote the lack of offense is sickening to me at this point. Like I said. Like, what the fuck, man? This team cannot score. They cannot score. 6 points, 2 field goals, 0 touchdowns. Not even close to getting a fucking I mean, you want to call the shit at the end of the game. Fucking, why ain't they doing that shit in the beginning of the game? All right? Why isn't he driving down the field in the beginning of the game? You know what? How's this? Okay? Why don't you do this? Why don't you start the game by throwing a fucking bomb? All right? Do something different, man. Let this fucking guy, just like Zach Wilson, I don't know if the coaching and the play calling is keeping him from just letting loose, or I don't know what the fuck is going on, man. But maybe, why don't you just pretend, when the game starts, pretend there's only 2 minutes left in the game, and let this guy just fucking wing it and fucking open the game with a bomb. Do something. Do something, please. Like I said, no touchdowns tonight. Pathetic. I already covered that. The line, like I said, is sickening to me at this point. Fucking, he had one nice throw to Garrett. I think it was first and long somewhere in the game. I have it as a note. So listen, he is making some good throws. But we already talked about the throw he really should have hit Garrett Wilson with, which was when he was in stride. What else, man? Penalties, holy shit. Another bad fucking game with penalties. Look, the line is bad enough. Everything else is fucking bad enough, man. The penalties are just, they're the icing on the cake with this shit, man. Holy fuck. Like, what's going on with the penalties? You know, that's got to fall on coaching a little bit. Like, fucking get that shit together, all right? You can't have these fucking penalties that this team is getting. Again, the sacks. They were just killer last night, man. You know, and again, is it Zach or is it the line? I think it's more the line than it is Zach. You know, what else? It's just, some of these notes are repetitive, man. It's just this fucking team can't score. You know, like I was doing the notes as the game was going on. Lazard, what the fuck? What's going on with that dude? He is probably, I'd say, one of the reasons why Garrett Wilson is having such a hard time getting the ball more and opening up his game more, because, you know, that's why they were trying to trade for a receiver. I think they realized that you need somebody else on the other side of Garrett Wilson to really take Garrett Wilson's game to the next level. Lazard is not doing that. What else? This is a defensive thing, and we're going to get into the defense. Before we do that, I got one more thing here. Breece, I think, had that, Breece Hall had that play, right, where Wilson pitched it to him, right? I think that was a fumble, and the Chargers recovered, maybe, if I'm thinking of the right play. But that's not, to me, that's Breece Hall's fault. Like, dude, you have to look the ball in and catch the fucking thing before you run with it. So that's not Zach's fault. And then there's the other plays, man, like with Lazard and Osama, right? Dropping these balls. That's not Zach's fault. So it's not all Zach's fault, all right? There's a lot of shit going on here, all right? Now, let's switch it over to defense, which is really the only shining spot of this team. And it's a bright, shining spot. But it pisses me off because it's going to waste. This defense is going to waste on this fucking team. This is possibly the best defense I've ever seen this Jet team have in the history of me following this team. Like, this defense is fantastic. And, you know, fucking offense can't score a fucking point. Touchdown. You got to be able to get some touchdowns to win games, all right? That's what football is all about, getting some fucking touchdowns so you can win some fucking games, all right? You can't kick 20 fucking field goals a game and have that be your offense. So, going back to the defense, all right? Michael Clemens, right? Dude, when there is a fumble, all right, you fall on the ball, man. Like, you got fucking guy is standing there, right? When Herbert fumbled that ball, I forget where it was in the fucking game, but it's another situation where that can turn things around in a game. Herbert fumbles the ball, and you're bending over trying to pick it up. Dude, fucking, you need to fall on that ball and get the possession, all right? So, you know, like, what the fuck, man? And I think that dude I think that's the dude who had that bad fucking penalty last week or one of the weeks where I think he fucked. There was something else with that dude. I think he had that bad penalty on that punt that gave the fucking ball back. I don't know, but that dude now, that's two fucking big things I've noticed with that dude where, dude, you got to fall on that ball. You're a fucking huge lineman, dude. You pick that ball up. Where the fuck you going with it anyway? No, you're not going anywhere with it. So, you know, dude, fall on the ball. Get the possession. All right? That's like 101. That's football 101, man. Fumble, you fall on the ball. So, some good stuff now, right? We're talking about the defense, right? I already said it. I think this could be the best defense I've ever seen this team have. Right? The defense played great last night. I already talked about Gardner's game. He had a really good game. Jermaine Johnson had a nice game last night. He is emerging. I love to see that. I love to see him completing that fucking Fantastic Four from that draft. Because, listen, Garrett Wilson, he's already a fucking star. So is Breece Hall, basically. Gardner is already a star. So Jermaine Johnson is that last piece. And he is emerging, and he is coming, you know, he's stepping up, and he's putting himself, he's not on their level. Because those guys have really, you know, come into the league and made some noise. But Jermaine Johnson is starting to make noise, and I like that. So if he keeps coming, he will round out that. I refer to it always as that epic draft class. Possibly the best fucking draft I've ever seen any team ever have in the draft ever. And you got to love it. The Jets had the draft. It was their draft. So, but great to see Jermaine Johnson. I've been talking about him now for a couple of weeks. He is starting to really come on. He had a good game last night, along with Franklin Myers. He had a good game, and Quincy had some nice plays last night. Like I already talked about Quincy. He is having a Pro Bowl year. Huff had a sack. Okay, they better pay this fucking guy. I don't want to see them lose this guy. Pay Huff. He deserves it. Every time that guy is on the field, he flashes. You see him. He makes a play. He's very situational, it seems like. But that motherfucker, he gets to the quarterback, man. He is a good pass rusher. Really good. What else with the defense? There was something else. McDonald. It's funny. Last night I was like, where's the fucking rookie? I'm like, I haven't seen the rookie at all. And then he had like a half sack or a strip sack or a fucking, I don't think he had a full sack, but he was in on a play. And I think it was a strip. So that might have been the play where Clemens didn't fucking fall on the ball. But good to see a McDonald sighting, all right? Actually, I have it in my notes. He stripped the ball. So I think that was the play where Clemens didn't fall on the ball. I'm almost positive. I'm not sure, but gotta fall on that fucking ball, man. All right. I think we covered the defense. Fucking defense is great. They are the only thing keeping this team competitive. Let's see. And the special teams have been playing good as well. But the defense, championship defense, and you gotta fix this offense, man. And just quickly on that with Aaron Rodgers, they keep saying, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers might be coming back this year." Who gives a shit? First of all, it takes everybody who has that injury. It takes a full fucking year, as far as I know, to recover from that injury. All right. So I don't want to see him hurry back and then just rip his Achilles again. All right. And on top of that, listen, we already saw what this guy did the first time he was on the field. So maybe this guy's career is fucking over. So stop banking on Aaron Rodgers as the fucking savior of this team. He might not be, all right? Zach is playing right now. Let's fix the Zach problem, all right? And that leads me to this. And I've said this so many fucking times, man. They should have kept Mike White, all right? That was the mistake that this fucking team made. And it's all because they couldn't swallow their pride about... It's really that they couldn't swallow their mistake of the fact that they drafted Zach Wilson number 2. And that is the reason why he stayed and Mike White left. But if you ask me, Mike White on this team right now, and Garrett Wilson's having a much better fucking season, and this team is scoring some touchdowns with Mike White, all right? That ain't happening with Zach Wilson. The only thing that Mike White seemed to have an issue with was he had a little bit of an injury bug. But he had, and if you had Mike White learning under Aaron Rodgers, man, maybe Mike White could have really been something special. You should have at least kept him on the team. Why they got rid of him? He deserved some money. You should have paid him. Kept him on the fucking team. Damn it, that fucking pisses me off. I just think this team is a different team right now with Mike White. I really do. And Garrett is having a better season with Mike White. I can tell you that right now. So we talked about how I feel Garrett is already going. He's being wasted in this offense, and with Zach Wilson, I think. And a little side note for Garrett. He fumbled the ball. So very uncharacteristic of Garrett Wilson, but it didn't bother me, and I'm going to tell you why, all right? I think Garrett needs a little bit of that, okay? He needs to have a play where he fumbles the ball, and I'm going to tell you why. Because that guy is so competitive, and he takes so much pride in being a great player and a great receiver. You're never going to see that fucking guy fumble again. Like, that's the type of play that is only going to make him fucking 3 times better. So I wasn't mad. Listen, he has done so many great things up to this point. How could you be mad with him fumbling the ball? I was not mad at all. I think that he is only going to... That play will only make... I'm telling you, that will make him 10 times better, that play. So, you got to fucking... It's okay, man. I'll take that. And you saw how pissed he was on the sideline because he sets the bar here for himself. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I love about that guy. So, that fumble, I saw it as a good thing. It's only going to make him better. Kind of already talked about, what I said. I had said it in the week 9 video for this game. I said the biggest concern for me was Bosa and Mac, and they really did, in a way, wreck the game. Bosa had a big game, and like I said, Mac had a big game too. I think Bosa had a bigger game though. But Mac had that play at the end where he they even had back-to-back sacks. But I think Mac also had that big play, I think, at the end where he stripped the ball. So those guys, they did their damage like I fucking was afraid they were going to do. So, but what do you expect with an offensive line that is like a fucking high school offensive line at this point? So, yeah, the Mac, I think that was a fumble return, right, when he stripped that ball. So, Eckler, like I said, they had to keep an eye on him. He had a good game. Listen, it is what it is, man. Keenan Allen had that crazy catch. That was a good catch. I'm just reading the notes here. Now, one of my subscribers, I believe, you commented on, I think it was that guy Tui, or let me check real quick. Okay, so I believe it's pronounced Matuska 78. You made the comment. Aside from Bosa and Mac, Thule and Fox on 3rd and longs. Right now, I'm assuming you're talking about that guy last night. I don't have his full name, but Thule, right? I think that's, if it's the guy I'm thinking of, he's a rookie, and he had a big game last night too. So if that's the guy you were referring to, you totally nailed that on the head. That guy had a very disruptive game as well. So the three of them had a very disruptive game. So I'm not gonna even bother looking it up. But basically, if that's the guy you were talking about, you called it. So what else? Let me get back to the notes here. I think that's it, man. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, man. Like, one of the last notes I have here is Bosa looked like a dick when he did that thing with his fucking legs and he was stepping. Fuck you, man. You know what? Yeah, he had a great game, but, you do shit like that, you look like a dick. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. Like, grow up, dude. How long have you been in the league and you're acting like a fucking, like a dick? That to me is like just dickish, man. And I gave you all the credit. I gave you good credit, Bosa. I gave you some really good credit in this. But that just looked stupid, dude. Like, come on, man. You're a... I'm not even going to fucking bother finishing my sentence with that. So that is what it is, man. This is a long video. I don't know how much I'm going to cut out of it, but there was a lot to this game. The Raiders are next. I don't know at this point, man. The Raiders look like they have new life, and the Jets can't score a fucking point. So I don't count field goals as points. I count touchdowns as points. Jets can't score a fucking touchdown. And I think the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken, they have a pretty good pass rushing line as well. And they, like I said, they fired Josh McDaniels. No surprise to me. That guy sucks as a fucking head coach. I've said it many times. He just looks like a fucking douche on the sidelines to me. He's a fucking Patriot dick. Go back to the Patriots. Fuck you and the Patriots. That's where I stand with that. Like I said, no surprise to me that they fired that guy. From what I read, the fucking team hated him. They turned on him. He just looks like he's a dick when he's on the sideline. Like, look, I don't know the guy personally, so I'm just going by perception. Let's put it that way, But he's got the Patriot roots. Fuck him and the Patriots. It's along those lines where the venom comes from. Same thing with the Bosa bullshit. Fuck you, dude. You're acting like a dick. Just fucking, you had a good game. Fucking handle it like a pro. I don't see Mac doing this fucking step shit, and he fucking runs circles around you, in my opinion, as somebody who is a dominant fucking player in this league. So, learn from Mac a little bit. Mac he just takes care of fucking business. Maybe you should do the same. Speaking of Mac, since we're on the topic, Khalil Mack, right? He was in the draft with Clowney. And Clowney went number 1, and I believe Mac went number 5. If you do that draft over again, who do you think should go number 1 in that draft? It's amazing how great Mac turned out to be. And it just shows you that you just never know. Because Clowney, I liked Clowney too, man. And I'm a Clowney fan, but Clowney just never had the career, nowhere near a career of what Mac has had. So, you do that draft over, I'm picking Khalil Mack number 1 in that draft. So, let's see. I think that's it, man. I think we covered everything. Like I said, we got the Raider game coming up. I don't know if I should just do a fucking Raider prediction right now. By the time this goes out, it might already be Wednesday. You know what? I'll try to keep doing what I'm doing. This is a post-game video. I'll try to put the Raider video out on its own. A fresh start. There's a lot of fucking shitty energy with this video. Not shitty, but shitty in a way that, you know, that was a bad loss last night. So there was a lot of shit to talk about in this video that wasn't really the greatest shit. So we'll start the Raider video with some new energy. We'll see. I'll tell you one thing, though. If they fucking lose the Raider game, their season's over, in my opinion. So, because you got Buffalo. We'll talk about it in the Raider video. So, tune back for the if you're even watching this fucking video at this point, because this is going to be the longest video I've put out so far, I think, on the fucking channel. This is a long one. But if you're still watching this video, tune back in. Keep an eye out for the Raider Week 10 video. I believe it's Week 10, right? And we'll see. We'll see where we go from there, man. All right. That's it. That's a wrap on the Charger post-game video. Holy shit.